What's up, y'all? Jimmy, Country Traditions, and today we have another project video. As if I don't have enough things going on, I decided to refurb this toy hauler slash hay trailer slash whatever we want to put on it. So let's go give this trailer a facelift. All right, y'all, so first step with any refurbish, get all the crap off it and then pressure wash it. I'm just gonna use the electric one. It's got this little turbo tip on it. It'll be perfect for getting all that algae and all the loose stuff. My plan is go ahead and get that done, and then I'm gonna come back. I've got a really nasty looking wire wheel that goes on the grinder. So I've got that, and I got one of those pad kind of grinding wheels. So I'm just gonna go through, wire wheel it. Whatever doesn't come off, I'll use that pad. I've got a gallon of the implement paint. We're just gonna go black. This wood's not great, but it's not terrible. Let's get to cleaning. Watch it. Get the sailor. It's never been cleaned, so it's actually got that like algae growing on it. It's not just that slick surface algae. But this little turbo tip actually works awesome. This thing's only at 1700 PSI. I got the other big ass one, and of course it's carbureted and never runs. These little electric ones are pretty damn convenient when you just want to go pressure clean something real quick. You're not doing something super heavy soil. Tip of the day. How much support I get out here. Buddy, you don't want to grab that. You're not going to like it. I'm going to supervise it. Now. Beautiful. Alright. So you know what I was thinking? What would be cool to do? We could make this like a rolling billboard. So like we're gonna be in Florida hauling the side-by-side around on this mainly. So I'm gonna put all the logos and stuff. So I know this is only good for the guys in Florida. But if you see us going down the road and you holler, I'll just have koozies in the truck and we'll just toss koozies out the window.
Hey, honk.
Yeah, you have to honk for koozies. Honk for koozies. That's what we'll put on the trailer. Honk for koozies. People honking at me all the time. It's amazing how bad everyone wants a little cheap koozie. See that come off? Yeah. Gross.
I'm in a white shirt.
It's not all the way white anymore, is it? Hey, you know better than to come out here and film me when you're wearing a white shirt, Taylor. Never. Okay, here you go. Here you go. Learning opportunity. Hold on, this thing's pissing me off. First of all, don't live on a farm and ever come outside and do anything in a white shirt because you're going to get it dirty. Second of all, if you do get dirt on a white shirt, don't rub it. It's just going to go into the shirt. You have to fluff it out and it'll come right off, Taylor. As soon as you do that, it's going to smear. So, as you can see, this thing has a ton of algae in its wood, so it's deep down in there. So I'm gonna knock off what I can on the surface. You can see it's pulling up all those oils from the equipment that we've had sitting here, you know, hydraulic fluid, motor oil, whatever. Well, once we're all done with that, we're gonna come back and show you the finished product, and then we're gonna get to the wire wheeling and painting. All right, y'all, so we got it cleaned up. The deck is actually looking way better already. So I've got all the metal surfaces, all the frame, pressure wash, and it's got all the big algae and stuff off. Now is going to be the very time-consuming process of sanding this thing off with the grinder. I've got a couple different wheels, a couple of different wire brush wheels. So we're gonna use that The best way would be to sandblast, but I don't have a sandblaster and I'm not gonna spend the money on one. So we're gonna do it by hand. It's gonna take a while, but it's gonna be worth it. This thing's gonna come out looking great. All right, y'all, so I figured to make it a little easier, I'm going to jack the back end up and throw this thing on jack stands. Then I can take all 4 tires off, and then that way I can sand the whole frame down, paint the whole thing, put it all back together. I'll check the bearings while I'm doing that, get it jacked up. Now that I got the tires off, as you can see, way easier access up here. I can paint the springs if I want to, which not really concerned about that. I can check this bearings. Definitely some grease coming out the backside, so I'm going to check that and make sure that's good. It might be a bad seal. All right, we're just going to use the black Rust-Oleum Implement paint. See, this stuff goes a long way. I've only used not even a third, so. And then I got my bag saved for my brush. Yes? Yes, what are you doing?
How long do you think painting's going to take you?
Till I'm done. Hey. Did you have fun helping film? Oh, it's stiffened up a little bit, but not too bad.
I'm gonna see if she'll eat some mac and cheese.
Mwah! Ah, what's Daddy got on his head? You being goofy? Daddy. Everything's wet, and it's supposed to rain again today. So I'm gonna try to rush through this. This has to dry for 2 to 4 hours. It'll be dry to the touch, which is plenty. So if it gets rained on, not a big deal. Once I get that 2 to 4 hour dry time. So. All right, y'all. So after hours of mindless grinding and sanding, finally got this thing prepped and painted. I went ahead and did the rims. I wasn't gonna do the rims, but I figured they're rusty. They're getting flakes, you know, peeling off. There's 4 different kind of rims on this thing. So I'm gonna try to get them all to match as best I can. I think it came out pretty good. Let me show you. Not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go check out this trailer. I still gotta do the tongue and a couple different things. There you go. Looking good. This is the hardest part. So we got like up in here. You can see I didn't get that. So all those spots really are, so since they're up inside, they're not gonna get touched. So spray paint will work. The stuff on the deck, it could get hit. We're gonna drive the side-by-side up on it. We're gonna be putting the hay mower, tractor, skid steer. So whenever things pull up on there and it actually has contact with the paint, I wanted something good. So I wanted this enamel-based or this oil-based good paint. which the spray paint is too, but it just doesn't put as much down. You're just getting this light mist, where with this, when I brushed it on, it is a thick coat. I mean, it actually came out really good. We get to the not as fun part, not the aesthetic part, but a part that's very crucial, because when I'm driving down the road, I don't want this thing to blow up on me. Bearings go bad. The back axle on both sides, the seals, the inner seals are bad. Now that I took the tire off, I can see that. I will show you what I'm talking about. So that's not supposed to be all greasy back there. You can see it's kind of seeped out over here too. So these bearings are actually, the grease fitting is right there. So as you grease that thing, the spring actually, it feeds back, it's full. So the spring is pushing back towards the bearing, so it's pushing grease in at all times. They work great, but it's also pushing that pressure. When that seal went out, it was pushing the grease out from behind it. So I just got to knock that off, take the nut, pull the whole hub off, take the two bearings off, get the seal, put the new seal on, and do it all over again. Sounds complicated. It's not really that hard. It's just time consuming. So clothes on. I got my helper. All right, y'all, so I had Taylor come out with the camera because I can't touch this, obviously. So we made a quick trip to the parts store. So that's the old, terrible looking seal.
Daddy.
Brand new seal. So, got new bearings.
Daddy.
I know, give Daddy a second.
Daddy.
So I already got the new seal in. That's what it looks like. You see how gold and shiny it is. Bearings are in both sides. All we got to do is slide it on, tighten the nut, and I'll show y'all packing the bearings with that buddy bearing. Works awesome.
You want what?
Blue.
The blue?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do with the blue?
That one.
All right.
We gotta wait for Daddy.
You gonna come help? You gonna help me?
Yeah. Take it hard.
And that's it. Simply press on. You'll actually hear a little bit of air come out, which is good, because that seal has, so it's a metal circle with a little rubber piece, and that's what actually goes on to the actual axle. So when you slide it on, it's sliding across, so that means it's got a good seal when you hear the air release. So now it's set. All I gotta do is tighten it down. Dirty castle nut, not too concerned about that because it's still fine. Yes, baby.
I want to take it.
Are you helping?
Mommy, love you.
All right, so trailer axles are simple. You just tighten them up. So you've got the cotter pin. So you're gonna tighten it so you can see through the top of the castle nut into that pin. So there's a hole through the threaded part of the axle. And all you gotta do is slide your cotter pin back through, and it's it. So I'll snug it a little bit, but it doesn't really have to be overly tight. All right, so all I needed was just a little bit of snugging. That's it. You won't go any tighter than that. I know I can see the hole now, so that cotter pin's gonna go right through it. All right, so got that cotter pin hole lined up with the castle nut. I had to straighten it out a little bit with a hammer, tap it in, and then you just got to get you a pair of pliers and grab it. So there you go. So it's seated now. So we're gonna bend these through that came out just like that. No rhyme or reason. So all that does is prevent that nut from backing out, because this is actually spinning in the unscrew right direction, so it could unscrew if you didn't have that in. So that little pin will hold your entire assembly on. If you don't put that in, your tire, if you ever see one come off a trailer or something and go flying down the road, that's why. A little like 5-cent pin. That's all it takes. All right, so now what we're gonna do, this is the buddy bearing I was talking about. So got a lot of this old nasty grease. I'm gonna scoop it out because I've got actual red high temp grease that we're gonna pump in here, made just for trailer bearings. So I'm just gonna clean up the edges. So all we gotta do, line that up. We got it lined up, and you just tap it real easy. Continuing circles, that's it. Make sure it's on there so you can see it's seated good. It's spinning in there perfectly. So now all I gotta do, get the grease gun. We're gonna pump this thing through. So right now the plunger inside this bearing is all the way maxed out. Once we start filling it with grease, it's gonna fill up inside that housing. Once it gets full, it's gonna start pushing pressure. And there's a spring right inside there. So that plunger is gonna be pushed back so that spring gets compressed. So as this thing uses grease, or it just helps push the grease in, and that way it gets inside of the bearing everywhere it needs to be. These things are a lifesaver, way cleaner, way easier, and you always know that you have grease bearings. So let's go grab the grease gun. We'll grease it, throw the tires on. We're good to go. I'm gonna load the side-by-side up, and then we're gonna run it down and get something put on the side. Stick around for that. Here is our Milwaukee battery power. So you hear the battery? Just like a normal grease gun, but instead of just a little top, that's a hand pump, battery powered. All right, so it's starting to come out if you see. So this one actually has a little blue indicator you can see. As that housing is coming out, you can see that blue. What I'm gonna do is hook it up to the truck. We're gonna pull it down the road, and then that's actually going to help heat everything up and get that grease in there moving around and really pack those bearings again. So we'll have to do this probably 1 or 2 more times just to be safe. But you see that blue ring, that indicator, you can see that that's sticking out. So if you don't see that, then you know the hub needs grease. That's why these things are great. Oh. All right. We're gonna put the big 14 ply tire on this one, KK.
Yeah.
Yeah. You all right with that one? All right. Ta-da! That'll do nicely, I think. All right, let's get all 4 on. I'm gonna move this thing. Check the lights, make sure the side-by-side fits. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you. Appreciate it. Here goes nothing. Uh-oh! Here she comes! I see you. I see you. And off she goes. That kid loves that thing. She's gonna wear those plastic tires off before she's done. All right, y'all, she's finally done, and in the nick of time because we are getting a nasty storm rolling in. The last thing I had to do was work on the trailer lights. I didn't show you guys that because that's boring. It's literally going through wiring, and my truck's so old that I had one little piece that was not sending power. So luckily I had a test light. A test light will save your life. It was actually a connection inside of the 6-way plug on my truck. So I took it apart, cleaned it, put it back together. Good to go. So side-by-side is waiting. We're gonna make sure this thing fits. I've had it on there before, but what I want to do is test fit it essentially to see where I want it to live. I'm going to put some blocks down on the deck. That way I can pull it up, put it in the same spot every single time. That'll keep it from moving around too, even though I'm going to strap it down. Still helps. And we're going to see, I don't know about fenders because it's so wide. I think the tires hang off a little bit. So what we're going to have to do is kind of do a little bit of a custom fender where it actually has a step away from the trailer. So we can't bolt them or weld them to the actual frame of the trailer. We're gonna have to make an extension to get them 3-4 inches away. We'll still cover the tire. It's just another step. We'll cover that in another video. Let's load this sucker up. As I expected, it does just barely fit. The tires do hang over. That thing's like 90 something inches wide now, so I knew that was gonna be an issue. Not a big deal. I am gonna put fenders on this thing because when we're going down these lime rock roads or dirt roads that we're gonna be going and riding down, these tires will directly sling any mud puddles or anything all over it. I don't wanna get it disgustingly dirty when I'm trying to get in the thing when it's clean. If it's already dirty, not a big deal. I wanna go get it dirty. I don't want my trailer to get it dirty. So another good thing is I'm gonna set this up to specifically be for this side-by-side. What that's gonna do is allow me to have the trailer with all the tie downs right where I want them, because that's what I'm gonna be putting on here. We're gonna put a hay mower on here every once in a while. That's its own unique thing. So the winch will come down. I'll use the winch down, tie it down. Got 2 straps in the back. We're good to go. So we're gonna get out of here because it's raining. Thanks for watching, y'all.